Oh, man, we had a well-fought game right there. Challenged the guys in that second half to run the football. It was a nice job by Led challenging those guys in the O-line to step up and do some really positive things. And I was pleased how they responded to those things. There's a lot of things to clean up with penalties and things of that nature, the offsides, the false start. Really, the false start on the quarterback fumble. We had the 2 penalties and the turnovers that really hurt you. But other than that, you were pleased with some of the good things, some of the physical play from the linebacker, some of the physical play from your safety and Shank. Those guys having a chance to get out there and get a little bit of reps and get a little full speed action. Those were positive. You know, obviously we had the 2 injuries in the game that I know about right now that felt bad. I'll have a better feel tomorrow when I get a chance to let the doctor see those guys, but that would be in Trice and Helms, both being taken off on the cart. We'll get a better feel for that, what we got going on tomorrow.
Yeah, Coach, how did Michael play in his action today?
I felt really good about Michael. You know, he wants one of those throws back, that out that he threw on the sideline, but he was able to go through some progressions, really be able to progress. We get a little pass happy with him, obviously being your first round quarterback, but it was fun to see him go out there and execute some of the pass plays and be able to get some of this stuff done and really lead the offense to get him in and out of the huddle. Pretty much a pretty good night for him, and I was pretty pleased what he was able to do.
What did it say about him to go back to Blair after the fumble? We had a little pass out to the left.
You know, I don't.
Next series, he comes back and goes right back to the.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to lose confidence in his guys. You know, these are the guys that's been playing with them. They've been having a chance to get major reps with him. You know, Blair caught the stick route. He's able to turn up field and get his punched out for a fumble. Really good throw, really good placement by Mike. And he comes right back to him later on the fade ball, hits him up the sideline in stride. And, you know, I don't think Michael's the kind of guy to lose confidence. He plays with a lot of confidence, plays with a lot of poise. He's always been that way. He's that way in college. He's pretty even-keeled, even demeanored. I don't think he rides the emotional roller coaster at all.
Obviously the work that y'all put in over 2 joint practices and the evaluations of the preseason game, while also the realization that Rondell, Braylon, DeMarco has some pretty serious injuries. What's kind of the weight of that?
These preseason games are tough. You know, we talk about them every year. This is the reason why you try to play as least amount of people as you can. You know, obviously DeMarco being a second-year player, you want to give him a little bit of action. He gets hurt really early. And then obviously having Trice as a rookie, you want to give him some action as an NFL professional player. And those things come back to bite you at times. It almost makes you not want to, but you know the cost of doing business. You got to make those decisions, and those are heavy on you all the time, those type of injuries. And then, you know, obviously Rondell's happen in practice, but, you know, obviously tough when you have a non-contact injury like that to a player that you're going to be counting on within the season. You know, tough night on Heineke, obviously going out there, trying to run the football. You know, he actually got a little protection issue at the end when he got sacked. You want to get him settled down, get him a couple reps, get him a chance to go back out there next week and see what he can do.
I'm curious, this is the first time your staff has completely gone through a game day together. How did you feel like the communication was from your staff to the guys on the field?
That's key. You know, the biggest thing with that is the communication from the defense and getting the right defenses out there, being able to do that stuff as far as a procedural thing is what you want to do with staff. Your offense, be able to get the plays out, the personnel groupings, all of those type of things, the communication from the challenges and some of those things and the penalties and what you want to do with some of the penalties. You know, obviously we backed them up on that one punt, hoping to see a return and kick it out of bounds. But, you know, normally in a normal season game, you wouldn't take that, try to get the touchback. I was hoping for a return there to get some evaluations. But, you know, a lot of those things were really done really well from special teams, defense, and offense from all of the coaches. I was really happy with the communication, the on-field communication going back and forth, the substitutions, all those things really felt tight. They felt good. We just got to claim some of our other, you know, penalties that you can control with a lack of discipline and a lack of control and lack of things of that nature. Just as an operator, you know, getting out there operating, which we've seen a bunch of throughout the practice, but to get them out there in a situation where you play tackle football is always nice. To get them in the pocket, watch them go through progressions and do it in a professional way. Which we know from college, but it's always nice to see it again when you can reaffirm those things. You want to give them as much action as possible, obviously behind that line because you had a lot of confidence in them to protect them. They went out and they did a nice job of doing that, and he did a nice job of delivering some football, some strikes, putting the balls in the right spot. You know, obviously you throw it to the stick route, it ends up a fumble. That's a good play on the quarterback. You go into the right spot, went to the right time, just unfortunate stuff there. Was able to hit a couple plays down the field. Like I said, the only throw I can really think off the top of my head that he really wants back is that one out route that we've seen him complete a bunch of times in practice. And other than that, man, it was a pretty good night. It looks exciting. You know, I think it's exactly what we wanted from the fan standpoint. brought the play back to life. I'm able to get a couple of returns out there, get a couple of coverages, get a chance to evaluate some people in space and tackling. Was fired up how that stuff looked, and I think we'll get better and better as we go with some of the scheme things. Obviously, you're keeping it simple in the preseason, but we'll have another couple good looks at that to see those plays and be able to get some of that stuff done.
Did the change have anything to do with the reason you elected to receive the opening kickoff, the role change?
Really, I was just excited to see Michael, just being honest.
Okay.
Let's get Michael out there, get him a couple snaps, then get him in and out of the game, which we were able to do. We got him out there, got those things done. Koo was the captain tonight, so Koo went out there and took the ball. He was excited to see Michael as well.
This was also the first game with the virtual measurement. You had the challenge, kind of had the right call. What did you see how that go?
It was great, man. When you get a chance to watch it live, you see the quarterback slide, you feel like it's stopping before the position goes down, so you get a chance to do it. Matty got a little lucky there because they could have counted that as a cutback, but when you're talking about that quarterback and those slide positions, you gotta think those are slide positions first because you can't hit them as a defender. We got the spot late. I was ready to challenge again. They would have marked that thing heavy. Mike had to end up challenging that thing, ended up being short. He was actually shorter than the line that they marked it. So, really excited about the league making advancements and doing different things in order to make the game better. And that's what they've done with the kickoff rule and the measurements of the line.
So when you're in a challenge, you and Mike kind of almost like chirping each other across the sidelines, even mad at you in the challenge.
Friendly banter, Mike thought it was a bad challenge because he thought his guy clearly had it. He was ready to celebrate and do some of those things. But Sharp Eye Washington upstairs for us got a chance to see a good look at it, and we challenged the call and got it right.
I'm curious, 7 of Michael's 16 total passes went to Casey Washington, who started for Casey. I'm curious, is that a byproduct of how things shook out on the field, or maybe even a little bit of their own connection?
You always want to get a good evaluation of you guys you draft. When you get a chance to get it to your first round pick and Michael, and you get a chance to evaluate Casey a little bit, you want to give him some opportunities and get the ball out that way. You got a lot of good receivers out there he's playing with, and Chris Blair, he's playing with Red out there. You want to get those guys some opportunities, and we were able to do that and spread around a little bit. But it's always fun, getting Casey some ops, going out there being a young player. That's the guy you really want to see. Getting Blair a couple ops, a guy that's really challenging to make the football team, a chance to see him get out there and play. And that's stuff you really want to evaluate and get a chance to see out there with Michael, and he did a nice job of putting the ball where it's supposed to be.
Is there any gut reaction that surprised you tonight?
I can't say surprised because we got a chance to get really good looks at all these guys. We got a chance to see those guys go out there and actually make some plays and do some positive things. I will say those linebackers, inside linebackers, Mooten, and those guys did a nice job of going out there really playing physical, making some nice plays on defense and really stepping up a couple of times there and giving us a chance to win the football game.
More depth in that room?
You never know. You got those 3 guys that you're really counting on. You got JD, who you really had high hopes on. And then today, Mooten went out there and played really well for us, and those guys played well all across the board at the inside linebacker position. That's fun to watch, and that's something good to see.
Coach, how do you all grade missed tackles when they, this is like the first live tackle?
The same way you grade them any other time. You can't make excuses for missed tackles because you don't tackle in the preseason game or you don't tackle in your practices. You got to train angles, you got to train shoot awareness, and those are things that's been training, and that's why I believe we tackle a little bit better probably than you think when you come out. And I'd like to go see, all of it when I get a chance to look at it, but it felt pretty good on the field. Obviously tomorrow when you look at the tape, you look at it a little bit closer. There's always something that you miss, but on the field in live action, that felt good. The thing that felt sloppy was the penalties, some of the offside penalties, some of the lack of control, the discipline from the receiver jumping offside, some of those things. The false start that was called the fumble early in the game. Those are the things you want to clean up and make sure those things don't happen. But that's what happens with practice and playing the games and being poised.
Coach, how good was it to get out there? How fun was it to get out there and coach a live game?
I enjoy work so much, from a practice standpoint and from the work that, the games are going to be the real games when they come. These are extensions of practice that you like to get a chance to see guys go out there and play. But the real games are the exciting things in this league. And those practices that we have that we call games or exhibition games, whatever you want to call them, they're still practice.
Coach, what's your assessment of your O-line and your D-line performance?
The O-line, like I said, challenged them to be able to run the ball better coming out to shoot. We challenged them in the second half. We were able to get off some runs, get a couple good runs off there with Jace and Carlos. That was nice to see, but you got to respond that way right from the beginning. And what you've seen from those guys was good protectors for Michael. He had a pretty clean pocket when it came to protection in the past game. You got to be fired up about that. I don't know if he got hit at all. If he did, he probably held on to it, went to his 4th progression, exhausted his progressions. So you're excited about those guys. From a pass protection standpoint, we got to come out ready to go in the run game the way Led challenged them in at halftime and the way they came out and ran the ball with a little more physicality. That's something we got to go be ready to grade. And from the D-line standpoint, you're really excited about what some of those early guys did when it comes to Street and the TQ and the Zach Harris. And then you're able to get those guys in there and get those guys out. And then you get some of your young guys in that got some extensive play like the Dorless and the Rooks and all those type of things. That was a lot of fun to see those guys do those things and be able to rush the pass and do some different things. So really excited about that when you come about the D-line, the O-line standpoint. And that's just areas of interest that we'll have this week and be able to correct.
And Coach, player Kevin King was trying to make it back after a couple of years out of the game.
Pretty positive showing for him, right? Went out there, made a couple of nice plays on the ball, got a nice pick. Pretty excited to see him go play. We had two guys like that. Eddie Goldman was another guy out of the league a little bit, and he showed up in a big way and got a chance to go see Kevin King really show some things and do some things really well for us. Ham, had a nice night too also for us, and other than the time that he guessed on that one out when he should have been in the deep third. But other than that, he did a pretty good job, man. But, pretty fired about those guys. Those are guys that played a lot of football that's got a chance to get back out there and play for us.